Renamed in late 2020, there's a look at Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Today on to Week 15 in the NFL, and we've got a good matchup in store, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Just about set for football. Blake Groupie is ready to get us started.
And off we go from Seattle.
And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
Mykel Williams.
Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early 2nd down and long. He'll look to throw.
This one complete to Jalen Waddle.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
That is caught. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion.
And even though this is a top 5 rushing offense, and we see this especially early in the game, they're going to do their best to keep you honest. They don't want you to get in the habit of stacking the box, so that's a good throw there, and they're able to come up with the 1st down.
They'll run on 1st down. Childs, 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The Seahawks at 10-3 on the year. They were winners the last time out, so they'll be looking here to make it 2 in a row.
And when you and I watched tape prepared for this, what we saw was a team that competed hard, and they played well in all 3 phases of the game. And I think if they can carry that over to this week, they've got a really good chance.
Can't get away, and he's taken down.
Mykel Williams.
Now 2 sacks for him already here in this 1st quarter of play.
Now make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down. And this one is right down the middle. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put them in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, remember, these two teams met earlier in the year in Santa Clara with the Niners coming out on top. So and here in Seattle, tough as that may be, would give them the season sweep. Second down, 8 to go from the 28.
They run the counter. Whiting. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. You talk about this Seahawk defense.
They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Now 3rd down and 7.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
This is taken at the 23.
So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards.
And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
And this late season game, of course, not lacking for drama when you talk about the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, in a sense, it's the haves versus the have-nots, because this group on offense, they'd be a wild card if the postseason started today, but they know the guys on the other side of the ball are still in that dreaded in-the-hunt category, and they're hungry for a win today.
2nd down and 8.
Here we go. Check. Pack the 60. Check.
Now a handoff up the middle. Childs. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
Go, check. Go, let's go. Check the Eagles.
They'll try the left side. Mahoney. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle.
Jalen Waddle,
His 9th touchdown of the season.
and the Seahawks are able to add on to that lead.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead grows to 10-0.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
On the ground, this is Quinshon Judkins.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Franklin.
Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5.
Ready. Yellow, 22.
Back to throw. Langford.
He'll try and do this himself. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
Here we go. 10 cycles.
They'll try it now with Judkins.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st.
Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
38. Go.
Up the middle they go. Whiting. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Nothing to score after 1 on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 10. As they've got it as we resume action.
Ready. 52 blue. Ready.
On the ground, this is Judkins.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the 1st. Well, looks like they'll move things around here.
On third down, Whiting. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And the stakes in this game certainly high as we get toward the end of the regular season. For now, they are holding a wild card spot, but there are no shortage of other teams in the NFC looking to take that spot from them.
Starting with the guys on the other side of the field because they're on the outside looking in, and no one likes to be in that position. You want to be in the room, not looking inside to see everyone else having fun.
Cut 19! Cut 19! Ready?
Now they run the option on 2nd down.
Breaks the tackle now with Allen.
Now he's free up the left sideline. To the 20.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Their mobile, agile quarterback. 94 yards.
And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're
You
down.
don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Off play action. Langford.
Open man down the field. That's Iomanner.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Here we go. 45. Right. Ready.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
That's caught left side by Iomanner.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
First and 10 at the 36. 60 red. 60 red. Hut.
On first down, here's Jenkins.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Right. 97. Zero. Correct one.
Now a handoff up the middle. Whiting. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Looking to throw. Langford.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 21.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
On first down, he'll drop to throw.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He finds his man, complete. It's Roman. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Back to throw again.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Niners are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Yellow, 43.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
Yellow, blue, 45, white. Ready.
Judkins going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3.
That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I thought they were onto something with their play call and kind of went in reverse a little bit. Threw it on 1st down, then ran it on 2nd down. Not successful either way. What play call do they come up with here on this important 3rd down try?
Not liking the look. They'll change the play.
Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. This Seattle defense, they haven't broken yet. Coming up here on a 3rd and goal situation.
50, green, close, 10.
And they'll run again. And this time he's into the end zone for a 49er touchdown.
Well, this had not been the greatest of first halves to this point. They've been pretty well dominated in all phases of the game, so this was an important drive just to show they can move the football and finish. And now they're on the board here on the touchdown run.
Groupie able to add the PAT.
And that'll cut the lead to 17-7.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line of the end zone. So this ball will come out to the 30 now.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 19 yards that time for number 19.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
On first down, Childs. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Now it's 2nd and 10.
They'll keep it on the ground. Childs. And he spins past him and into space. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down. Now back to throw.
Now he's going to step up and run.
And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Partner, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now because he has been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of stopping him, and that's why his side is on top.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Seahawks will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Extra point splits the uprights. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
This 2nd and 4.
Back to throw. Langford over the middle, complete. That's Franklin. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
They'll look to throw again.
Now he'll tuck this and run.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
Yellow, 43.
From the gun on third down, Langford.
He'll try to pick it up himself. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The 49ers going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
Here we go, set. Black 40.
Off the play fake. Langford. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. A give up the middle, Judkins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go. 60 red. 60 red.
Looking to throw. Langford. Over the middle, he's going to find Iomanner. And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the first down. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 4th down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. On 4th down, Langford. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 21 yards there. A big play on 4th down.
Well, it all came together on that one, didn't it?
Big time throw on 4th.
Now that had to feel good, didn't it? Taking that type of a gamble there and making it pay off. What a throw.
And tough as a receiver because no matter how perfect the pass, you know it's 4th down and you got to convert.
A little bit of extra pressure, but he overcame it.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Setting up a screen for Judkins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Well, they've certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
Ready?
They'll run on 1st down. Whiting try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's go now. Yellow, 43.
Back to throw. Langford. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal.
Let's go. 10 cycles. 33. Yellow. Set.
Trying to hammer it in with Jenkins.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Ready. Trouble. 38. Red. 38. Cut.
He'll try again.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown.
Quinshon Judkins, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Niners are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. Though CD, there didn't seem to be much resistance there down near the goal line.
Yeah, partner, from what I saw there, not a real good job of matching up defensively because to me, it looked like they were just in their base 3-4 package. You need bigger bodies in there in a goal line type situation. The 3-4, fine between the 20s, but not down here when you're guarding your end zone.
Ready. Ready. Black clock. Black 40. Stay.
Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And his kick here is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Go, Rick. Ready. Gravity Lions.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
42 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Good yardage there on 1st down, exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
Up the middle they go. Mahoney. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
They run the option here on 1st and 10.
Nifty move.
And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish the...
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll run it with Judkins.
4 yards there on the carry. Gets it back to 2nd and 11.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
2nd and 11.
Operating from the gun, Langford.
On the RPO, he'll keep it himself.
That is caught by Stewart. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 23 yards the pickup there. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Judkins going to run it out of the gun.
And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Second down and inches. Over the middle, it's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 27-yard line. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Okay, break. Set punt. Block 40.
In motion goes the tight end. Back to throw now on 1st down. Going for it all. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Ready. 33. Watch out now. 52.
Looking to throw. Langford.
He'll swing this out to Judkins.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field
can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. And the Seahawks will take over here at their own 14-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 14-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth-quarter lead.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, felt like that move deserved more than he got there. A gain of 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Ready? Panther 60, Panther 60. Ready?
Now a handoff up the middle. Childs.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The 31-yard line.
Ready?
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Come on, come on. Hit. 65, 65, go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Childs. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
Following the fumble recovery, Langford. He finds his man complete. That's Roman. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But they trim that lead down to just 2 scores.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A 20-yard touchdown.
And the 49ers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got the 2-score lead. Look, though, they fumbled last possession, led to a touchdown. So while things look good here at this stage in the 4th, they got to be careful.
Well, they definitely do because they've actually brought them back into it, haven't they? They've given them hope once again. Their purpose on this drive, squash that hope one more time.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
And here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
At the 45-yard line.
Ready? Cowboy 80.
He'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Murray. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Here we go. 19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
They'll drop to throw.
This will be caught. It's Waddle.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
70 Timberwolves. Ready.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. Second down coming up. Fourth quarter, holding on to a lead. Fullback carry, 3 or 4 yards. I guess that's what you're looking for.
And it just brings back memories for me because I remember my coaches in this situation. I remember one time my head coach into his headset telling the offensive coordinator, I want the big boy carrying the ball. And that's what you have in this spot. Him covering up on the ball, taking care of it, and grinding out yardage. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Get it. Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow, and this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on 1st down.
Crack all 80.
They'll try to run this one in. And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory.
Here we go, stop. Cougar 19.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out.
And the Seahawks extend this 4th quarter lead, and they are getting closer and closer to win number 11.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll stay on the ground with Judkins.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
An inside run with Judkins.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. So the victory here for Seattle. And when you break it down, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting, but obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.
So for the Seahawks, they remain in the hunt for a first-round bye as they move to 11-3 on the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Chicago Bears next week. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.